Anish, your game against Vincent Gamer just finished in a draw. You had black pieces today. I was wondering until which point you knew the theory.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I think he played very rare things with this b3, d5. I think I looked at it, but I don't recollect bishop appearing on d5 in any of my lines. I remember knight takes, queen takes was the natural flow of the game, and he took with the bishop. Now, okay, I played very creative, knight a6. I think, to be honest, I felt like probably many things are interesting. But I'm running some strategic danger, of course, with the whole on d5. And so I felt I should play dynamic and concrete. And I thought knight a6 was like trying to keep all the options. There's knight c7 idea as well, because compared to knight c6. So in some of the variations, like in, for example, knight a6, if after bishop to e4, if knight h3, then I can take knight c7 and d5. So this is one advantage of having knight on a6 over c6. Well, maybe it's too creative, not sure. To be honest, knight probably belongs on c6. But yeah, it was interesting. At some point, I thought what I did, I should have margin for a draw in this position because he's not developed. I'm pawn down.
This e4 idea was actually looked quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to fight for the d5 square. I'm very desperately. I think e4 is a move in many of these positions. It's also what I remember in my preparation. Because as I said, like you have to, at least I feel like you probably definitely have to do something, because if you imagine that white develops everything and then has a grip on the d5 square, it looks much better for white, especially if they trade one pair of knight maybe. So black has to do something at some point, like e4 d5 related probably. So yeah, I was trying to make it work. I think it was okay in the game, and I was trying to be very accurate in the end, not to suffer a bit. And it worked out really well. I think the d5 probably was okay, although I was planning initially bishop e6, then he gets knight d4, and some slight pressure, because sometimes like when you're so equal, you don't want to suffer at all. And in the end, like I think he played a bit inaccurate. That I'm on the good side, but it's too drawish. Like this kind of endgame, rook endgames are nice for black, but now he's a pawn up compared to the usual stuff. So whenever he gets the counterplay, he'll have an extra pawn. So I don't think it was anything either, but it was just, good to be on the good side. But not too exciting.
Yeah, but okay, one more draw. How do you feel yourself after? Now it's already seventh round is over, like 2 rounds to go. Like what are your feelings about your play so far, and what are you fighting for now?
Yeah, I think it's good to just 2 rounds to go. The tournament will either be recovered or it will end. I think both are good scenarios for me. But of course, it was the result so far is not very good. So, but nothing you can do. Sometimes I think my opponents are really good, playing very well, and I think 2 really interesting games are still coming up.
Yeah, but do you feel the lack of energy or something like this? Like what went different from Wake so far?
No, I think here the tournament is shorter. The weather is a bit better, so I don't think it's the energy. I just think that when you play such great players, I think it's just going to be unpredictable. I think that's what we will see in the future. In top tournaments, you will see that it will be completely random who will be at the top or at the bottom, because I think everybody is extremely good and extremely well prepared. And I don't think anybody is better than anybody else at this point. I really don't see like why. For example, Underbeck was crushing Vike, and now he's in minus. Jan was also struggling the entire tournament, but he's also very good. And so Gukesh was doing bad in Vike and good here. So I think it's just random, to be honest. So many things depend on details, like in preparation or in some small nuances later in the game, that I don't think that it's up to one player to, even if you do everything right, it's not like you guaranteed anything, because the opponents are just very good. So we'll see, but I think in the future there will be a lot of players that will. The tournaments will be more random than ever. Because back in the day, I remember we had still, at some point Magnus was number 1. Then we had Fabi, Ding, Wesley at this period. I had my period sometimes, but now so many good players, and I think it's no longer easy to dominate.
Yeah, and speaking about nuances today, I'm sure you paid attention to the game between Levon and Nepo, and there was this kind of strange moment that Levon claimed to draw. And so what do you think about it? Did you witness it?
Yeah, no, it was such an unpleasant psychological situation for Levon, because he thinks they're repeating moves, so he thinks the game is over, and Jan's so nasty, using that to his advantage and keeping the game going. I think what we see so far, that Jan has good fighting spirit, but he's struggling. Maybe today his game looks good, but well, fighting spirit is what he's working on here. It's clear, and okay. But Ding also has fighting spirit. But other than that, I think it's going to be an interesting World Championship match.
Yeah. Have you ever had such a situation with draw repetition, like moves repetition, and something then happened, or have you ever seen something like this before?
I have seen. I don't recall much in my practice, but I had seen people doing like 12 or fold repetitions or something. There was this famous game between Benjamin Bock and Luke Van Velde. Then they did like 12, 20 repetitions. And then FIDE put a rule after a certain number, like 8 or now, or I don't know, 5. After 5 repetitions, I guess, the arbiter has to intervene because they were just going forever, yeah? And the rule was that the arbiter cannot stop it. So nobody claimed. It was like a showdown. And they did like, I don't remember, you have to check it out. It was like 20 or 12 moves. I don't know. It was just hilarious stuff. But the rules are not for allowing. And okay, it's funny, like I'm curious if Lev didn't claim if Jan would play on, but
Good question.
when after Levon claimed, it was a great psychological decision to try and because it's a very different mindset to think the game is over and to actually still play a sharp game.
Absolutely, and today we got the news from Grand Chess Tour, and they announced the field of players, and you are one of the main participants, as I understood, in Grand Chess Tour. Are you looking forward to the events?
Enormously, yeah, for sure. I think this is going to be great. After this tournament, I'll have some time to rest, and I have so many different games, and it's nice that I also play badly sometimes because then I can see, you know, because when you play badly, like you see what you do wrong, and it's some opportunity for me to learn. And because when you only play good, you think everything is good, and then later you realize nothing is great. But yeah, I think it was good. I've had some good games, bad games, and I think I will try to learn from that. And Grand Chess Tour is going to be a great challenge.
It's going to be your next event, let's say in May?
Probably I play maybe I play the Champions Tour or something like that, but it will be the next big tournament that the Grand Chess Tour will be the next big thing, and also the World Championship cycle, so this Grand Swiss and World Cup. So a lot of exciting challenges, and I think it will be good after this tournament that there is some time to, reinvent myself, because before this, I can say I didn't play at all classical chess, only kids were playing. But I wasn't playing, so I didn't know where I stand, what's going on, how to play, and now I got a lot more games going, and it's nice because I see how it is nowadays, because it's different all the time. I see how well people are prepared. I see how well they're playing. It gives me some information to work with.
Exactly, and still we have 2 games to go. So thank you so much for the interview, and all the best in the last 2 games.
Thank you.